Previously on Cody's training vlog.
What a nice change of pace being outside. Is it getting really hot out here?
Jack, I'm flying!
Why is it so hot? I'm not gonna finish. So needless to say, my ride did not go as planned. So the plan was I was gonna do 5 hours and with a good chunk of climbing as I'm in my final stretch leading into the death ride. The first half of the ride was fantastic. It was a little warm, but there was a little bit of a breeze, and the first half was entirely downhill. We're talking like 35 miles, mostly downhill, very little climbing. But then everything changed when not only the temperature, but my elevation started to climb.
Then everything changed when the
Temperature.
attacked.
By 3.5 hours, I was cooked. I pulled up to my last stop, which was at the 7-Eleven, desperately looking for just about anything that I could get my hands on to maybe make it better. And so I decided I was gonna buy a Sprite, which I never do on a ride. And even my emergency Sprite was not enough. My back was seizing up, my neck was tight, it just wasn't good. The last 1.5 hours, I had two thoughts. The first one was, how the hell am I gonna finish this ride? I still had an hour and a half to go. And the second one was, let alone finish this ride, how am I gonna finish the death ride that has more distance, more climbing, and do it under 6 hours? So what the hell happened? I mean, the week before I was talking about how I was stealing a pro's KOM, I was high on training, everything was going well, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So what the hell happened? Well, let's dive into Training Peaks and see what the week looked like leading into that ride, because there's some interesting things that we found that make sense why this happened. So when we're looking at this week, we are not only going to look at the week of the ride, but the week leading into the ride. And so the previous week, I had to condense my week as far as I had to push some of my rides into the weekend. So my typical structure for the week would be a easy ride on Monday, a quality ride on Tuesday, strength on Wednesday, easy ride on Thursday, a high quality ride on Friday. Sometimes I do put that on Thursday, just depends on the week. Saturday would be upper body, and then I would have my long ride on Sunday. Well, this week, because of just how the week panned out, I had to put that quality Thursday, Friday ride into Saturday. And so that day was the previous video, which was the time trial effort and KOM effort up Pony Express. So felt amazing on that. The next day, I had a 4.5 hour ride. At the end of that ride, I could feel the fatigue. I was able to finish the ride. I did have a bit of cramping in my hamstrings, but I was able to finish that ride with very little issues. Then into the week of the long ride that we're talking about, I had an aerobic ride, easy ride on Monday. I did another easy ride on Tuesday because I needed to recover a bit from the training. And then I had my lower body strength day on Wednesday. I did my threshold day on Thursday, which was 4 by 10 minutes at 295. And then I had an easy ride on Friday. And then I had this big, massive ride on Saturday. And so, but that typically would have been on Sunday. So now I put a quality ride on the week before from Thursday to Saturday. So I cut out a Friday recovery day and a Saturday recovery day because I had to move the workout back. Next, I had this long ride, which should have been on Sunday, and I had to put it into Saturday, again, because of life circumstances. And so I missed out on a Saturday recovery day. So now, instead of having these 7 rides over the course of 11 days with all of this, intensity, I put those into 8 days. So I had 3 less days of recovery. I put in 4 quality workouts in 8 days. So I had the VO2 intervals on Tuesday the 3rd. I had the threshold day, the KOM attempt, on Saturday the 7th, the long ride on Saturday the 8th, the threshold day on Thursday the 12th, and then this long ride again. So actually 5 quality rides over the course of these last 2 weeks, but 4 of them over the course of 8 days. And I just didn't have enough recovery. By the time I got to that Saturday long ride, I had nothing left. I had no legs left. And so it was also just the most amount of riding I've done in a short period of time. So here are the statistics of what that looks like. And so it was 7 rides over the course of 8 days. It was almost 17 hours of riding in 8 days. And it was 313 miles of distance, both on the trainer and outside, as well as 17,000 feet of climbing. And so to say I was cooked is probably an understatement. So learning experience, if I were to go back and do this again and my schedule was to work out appropriately, I would have done quality workout KOM attempt 2 days earlier, had 2 extra days of recovery, and I would have had this long ride be a day later and had that 3rd additional day of recovery. I don't think I would have crashed nearly as hard had I had just more recovery, which I just didn't have, and that's the way my schedule worked out. Just condensed the calendar and had no amount of recovery and no chance to get in that full quality ride. But I did learn something in that ride, which is going to be important. I finished. And with that said, there are certain times in endurance events where you just feel like shit. Plain and simple, you just feel like shit. And so with that being said, I was able to finish. I was able to finish that. And so I know that come the death ride, I'm gonna finish. But I have one final quality bike ride coming up. That is the next video. So if you like the content, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. But that's the next ride, the next video, my longest ride of the training progression, 6 hours. We're gonna try and do the same time frame as the death ride, maybe a little bit less climbing, but maybe a little bit more distance. And so if you're excited for that and you're sticking around for the journey, I appreciate you. And that's it for today's video, guys. If you learned something, again, drop a like. If you have any comments on maybe something like this has happened to you, drop a comment down below. But we're in it, guys. The journey is, moving forward. We're crushing it. We're feeling good, but I had some doubts this time, and that happens with training. So stick with it. And that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.